right, well, welcome into the Cris Collinsworth podcast, and a lot of cool things happening in the National Football League. We are coming off the most redonkulous 4 games that I have ever seen in the history of the NFL that were played back to back to back to back. It started off with the Cincinnati Bengals' miraculous win to knock off the 1 seed in Tennessee, and we're going to get into that quite a bit here as we go along. And then San Francisco limping through the snow in Green Bay to knock off the number 1 seed in the NFC. And oh, by the way, it's never happened that 2 number 1 seeds got knocked out on the same day in the history of the NFL current playoff system. Come back the next day, and the defending world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers almost come back from 27-3 to knock off the Rams, but the Rams advance, and they have to play the San Francisco 49ers now in what's going to be the ultimate grudge match. The 49ers have beaten them 6 straight times. And then in the topper of all toppers, we had the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs playing like an NBA Finals, scoring hoops, going back and forth so fast it made your head spin. But it was pure, unadulterated insanity. And right now we're going to go talk to the darlings and the Cinderellas of this entire thing at this point, and that would be the Cincinnati Bengals. Did I used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals? Yes, I did. Do I have a little soft spot in my heart for them? Yes, I do. But despite all that, if I end up calling the Super Bowl with the Bengals in it, everybody will say, oh, you hate the Bengals. Why are you cheering against the Bengals? Why? So it's just, I'm getting myself ready for it. But I'm good with that. I can live with that small bit of downside if I get a chance to do what I'm hoping we get a chance to do, which is to see the Cincinnati Bengals, who really have not won a playoff game in so long. It was the last time these guys were in a championship game, dates all the way back to my career, and that would have been in 1989, and go on to get beat by the San Francisco 49ers for the second time. We did it in 81 and in 89. And unbelievably, it could easily come down to the Bengals and 49ers for the 3rd time in a Super Bowl, which would be just unbelievable. But it is my pleasure to welcome in the guy that has become the heart and the soul and unbelievably the veteran of this receiving core and of this offense right now, and C.J. Uzomah. And CJ, first of all, congratulations. This has been so much fun. You guys have actually made Cincinnati cool again.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a long time coming for the city. I just thinking of me being a player, and I'm like, man, 7 years. It's been 6 years since I've been to the playoffs. 31 years since the city's won a playoff game. It's been fun. It's been a breath of fresh air in the locker room for sure.
Well, the city of Cincinnati has now become the football mecca. We had our college football team and the University of Cincinnati go to the Final Four, and now the Cincinnati Bengals are right there in the Final Four as well. As it was ticking down the other day, and it looked like Tennessee had a chance to go in and try their own last-second field goal to win the game at 16-16. And then Eli Apple tips a pass, right? And the ball pops up in the air. Logan Wilson comes down with this thing. One pass later from Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. And we've got our own Florida Gator. I'm just going to get in a little plug. I know you're an Auburn guy. Get in a little plug for the Gator. Comes strolling out, and Evan McPherson, and just knocks through a 50-something yarder. And as he's taking the field, he tells the holder, yeah, it looks like we're going to the championship game. Like, what is up with this team? You guys just seem to have some innate swagger that carries right over to the biggest moments of the game.
Yeah, well, I think as an offense, like we're on the sideline and we're watching our defense and we're kind of seeing how Tennessee's playing this. We're like, oh, they're scared of us. Like, if we get the ball back, we are going to win this game. Like, that was our mindset the entire time. Just watching it unfold, we're like, oh yeah, they know if they give it back to us, it's game over. And then we get the ball back and we're like, well, it's game over. Like, it's over. But then, yeah, I mean, you got guys like Evan, who he is I mean, he's getting so much media pub right now, and just talking to him, you can see it. He's the most just innocent, just pure-hearted kid ever. Just, we went to go get dinner with him. He's getting chicken tenders he's like, hey, do you have chicken tenders here? I'm like, no, Evan, this is a steakhouse, bro. Like, we don't have chicken tenders. But it's been fun, man. Just seeing these young guys come in and just, yeah, I do this every day in practice is what he told someone. Like, what? I don't get what the big deal is. Like, good. I'm glad you don't have that on your shoulders right now, and you're just kicking a 50-something yarder for the win.
You know, there are so many great tight ends in the game, and Kelsey and Kittle and Waller and all those guys. But you have made some really special plays this year. You have made some just tremendous catch and run kind of plays to break games open and to decide games. And yet, you know, to some extent, you've been doing this all along. But it also feels like there's just almost like a competition within this team to be the guy that makes the next play.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is. Like, when the funniest thing in the huddle, I mean, you know, like in the huddle, like sometimes if it's a TV timeout or something, media timeout, we're in the huddle, we're talking to each other. There's been times where, you know, T and I will look at each other like, hey, we got to get on the board. Like, everybody else scored. We might as well get in the end zone. Like, looking at Joe, like, hey, Joe, what's the play? Like, Joe likes to keep it to himself. Like, he knows the play, and he's just standing outside the huddle like, hey, what's the play? Like, is it coming to us? What's up? Like, it is a competition just because we're out there having fun. We're competing with one another. Man, I don't know. We're messing with one another. Like, Jamar will be like, CJ, what's up? You're not going to score? Like, he just messing with me. I'm like, all right, Joe, don't throw me the ball. Forget Jamar this time. I know he's making plays, but come on. So yeah, it is back to backyard fun, having fun with your boys. Like, you know, Thanksgiving Day, the whole neighborhood comes over, like just a family of people going out there and doing what we love to do. And that's something that I haven't, you know, since I was a little kid, I haven't experienced, you know, having this level of fun with a close-knit family.
It looks like it. And the other thing it looks like Cincinnati is really kind of a white collar, button down community, Procter and Gamble, GE, Kroger, very sophisticated, you know, all that sort of stuff. And you guys are just like cool. It's like, I don't know what the modern word is for it, but I mean, you watch you guys and then you see Joe and the guys smoking cigars after the game. You see Jamar out with his full grill and diamonds dazzling everybody after the game, the kicker talking trash. It's like, what is these guys don't know any better. They don't have any idea how hard it is. It's almost like Joe and Jamar are looking at each other like, what's the big deal? It's way tougher to beat Alabama there in the SEC than what it's been down here with this stuff. This isn't bad at all.
No, yeah. Honestly, I can't tell you how funny it is just seeing the level of cool that all of them have. Evan, Jamal, like this whole class, Joe, just stone-faced killer, just, what's up? We're just going out there to win the game. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm amped up. I'm like, yeah, boys, let's do this. And he's just like, yeah, all right, Jamar, 31 yards, touch. They're like, you know, all right, we're in field goal range. Evan just coming out there smiling, like, hey, what's up? I'm like, dude, all right, if you say so. It's just that swagger, you know, it's that, like you said, I don't know what other phrase, what other word to use other than we just have that swagger with, you know, the guys that we have in the locker room, the presence that they have, and just the fun that we're having it's uncomparable to anything that I can put into words and that I've experienced for sure.
You know what else is interesting? And I think maybe this game brought it out for the first time is just how improved the defensive side of the ball is as well. I mean, you had DJ Reader up there just dominating inside against a really good running team, in the return of Derrick Henry and all those sorts of things. Trey Hendrickson's been unbelievable. Logan Wilson, the ball finds him somehow. I have no idea how it happens. Chidobe Awuzie, kind of a discarded guy in Dallas, you know, so whatever. Trey Waynes, same thing in Minnesota. Is he any good? Is he not any good? Jesse Bates on the back end. Bang. First play of the game. Bango. Interception right now. Let's set the tone right away to the whole thing. But they really stood up that 3rd and 4th and 1 to go down there and be able to make that stand. It was like, I go, damn it, these guys are like making a statement out here today.
Oh yeah, and then the crazy thing is it's infectious, right? So like you got the 2-point conversion that they try to hit. That we got Clay Johnson, who I don't even know if anybody knows who Clay is, but Clay comes off the edge, darts down the line of scrimmage and tackles Derek before he gets into. They had a yard, right? And they're like you just said, it's the return of King Henry and all this stuff. And this man that nobody knows about, this linebacker who's usually a special teams guy, comes down, makes a play, and that just hypes us up. And you're right, our defense is. They're playing out of their minds. You think about this game and how they handled, the run. You think about when we played the Chiefs last time and holding them to 3 points in the second half. And, we asked them to step up in huge ways, and they do, and they find a way. And it's been fun to watch them play and impressive to see the growth that the young guys have had, to see Logan. I call Logan Dash, to see Dash out there making plays and leading the defense, and Vaughn and Jesse and all those boys. It's again, I keep saying fun because there's no other word, but it is very entertaining to watch them play with the swagger again that they have.
It's so cool. And you go back in against Kansas City, and just to go back and revisit that game for a minute, which was one of the great games of the year, or at least until this weekend when everything was out of control. But you're down 14 points twice in that game against the Chiefs. And it never really felt like you were out of the game. It was Jamar with a catch and run, which he's been doing. He did it in a huge moment against the Ravens. He did it in a huge moment against the Chiefs to get you back in the football game. But what do you remember about that game, and what carries over now until the rematch here for the championship?
Well, first thing I remember is us not starting fast, us kind of shooting ourselves in the foot and not executing on offense. But yeah, like you said, I think the main thing was we were like, yeah, we've been here before. We're fine. Like there was no, and there hasn't been, there's never been a level of, oh man, like this is looking bleak. This doesn't look like this is going to be our game, or, our heads are down, like, we're not going to be able to come back from this, or there has not been any of that at any point this season. And, later in the season, we're like, oh, nice. Like, all right, well, we've been in this situation. Like, it's just 2 touchdowns. We can do that real quick. Oh, it's just like, one explosive play away, or one just quick little drive that we could have, or just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but just being on the bench or going into halftime, I was thinking, oh, nice. Well, we're about to get the ball. We're about to score, and we'll be fine. Like this is all in a day's work, right? And I think that goes back to, man, just the mentality. I think I don't know if they're too young, or if they don't know any better, or if they are just out there having fun. But these young guys, they do not. There seems to be no pressure. There's nothing going on up here. There's like nothing going on up here that's like, oh, this is a tough situation for us. It's just like, okay, yeah, see ball, hit ball. I'll catch the ball, make people miss. I don't want to get tackled. Go score. I'll kick a game-winning field goal. Oh, that's nothing. Like that's just how they're wired right now. And I mean, I love it. I'm like, oh, great. That's a great mentality to have, but it's unique. It's unique to say the least.
So when I was growing up, there were 2 comedians called Cheech and Chong, and they were like the original potheads and Welcome Back, Kotter or whatever. But I mean, they were funny. It was all the albums, and you don't even know what an album is. But anyway, so there was always one of their skits that sort of made fun of their teacher, who always had to sit in the middle of this class of knuckleheads. Nobody was paying attention. They're all stoned out of their mind. And they do this impersonation of the teacher going, class, one of those kind of things. And I get the feeling of Zac Taylor. And I keep trying to picture him in front of this room of kids that are convinced they're going to win every game, no matter what happens anyway. What is it like to coach the Cincinnati Bengals and the swagger and the confidence that team has? Give me some idea what he's like in meetings.
Oh no, he's with us. To be honest, he's making it fun with us. He'll ask a question, or if Jamal, if anybody, it doesn't matter. If I'm like, oh wait, what did he just ask? He'll just be like, you're right, CJ. it's this play that we're going to call. Like, he makes it fun with us. He has fun with us. It's not more of a, guys, like, what are you boneheads doing? It's like, well, you know what? Whatever. If you could act this way, be this way, as long as you go out there and you know what to do and you execute. I'm not going to really deter you from doing that. But no, he makes it fun. We've had some highlights of like younger, like me in high school freshman year, like an interview that I've had, and he pulls that out and he's just like, C.J., what were you doing here? Like, what's up? And we'll just roast each other. Like, people will turn around and start laughing at me. And they'll be like, oh, wait, Trent Taylor, like, something's coming for you too. And everybody will be like, oh, here we go. Trent's on the chopping block. And then Trent will pop up. And he makes that fun. And that allows us to have, the personalities that we have. We're allowed to be out there, be loose, and have fun doing what we love.
It's interesting that the Kansas City Chiefs will tell you the same thing about Andy Reid and their coach. There's a little NBA feel really to where the NFL is going right now. The season's a game longer. It feels like, you're playing forever, all that kind of stuff. But what really matters is getting your team to the playoffs as healthy as possible and then making a run, right? I mean, that's all it is. Certain teams are going to make it. Certain teams are going to not. We've already proven it doesn't matter if you're a number one seed or not. Both those teams out in the first round. You just got to get there, get hot, and make a run. And the sort of why not the Bengals is become, hell yeah, the Bengals are going to do this thing, right? Like, can you picture the moment, like the first moment I really, really started to believe you guys had beaten the Ravens? Was the next game the Jets game? And then, because all I remember is the Jets game, because if you guys had beaten the Jets, we were going to flex in on Sunday Night Football to whatever the next game was. And I'm like, you just write that one down. I am staying in Cincinnati. Here we go. This is going to be awesome. And then, blah, right? The Jets thing just happens. Can you describe the ride this year, the ups, the downs? I mean, you beat Pittsburgh twice, you beat the Ravens twice, you beat them in their home park. Can you describe this season as an overview?
Yeah, I mean, a roller coaster is, I think that might be an understatement to some degree for how I felt. And I know some of my family that watches, they're like, I'm not even out there. I don't know how you're feeling, but like, I don't know if I can keep watching these games, some of them. But yeah, it's been, it's been kind of, you're trying to stay consistent. Like I'm not Joe. I don't have this stone cold killer face the entire time. And I let my emotions, I'm rolling with the flow. It's been crazy. Like absolutely crazy. The end of some games, I sit in my chair in the locker room and I'm just like, oh, my family's out there waiting for me, but I need at least 15 minutes to just dissect what happened right now. And I love it. Like it's been an absolute blast. But it has been, there's been some ebbs and flows, and there's been a few games where it's been 24 hours. I need to like comprehend what just happened. Like usually I'm like, nice. All right, on to the next one a little bit. Like I got short-term memory, but some of them, the Jets game, I was like, I need 24 hours. Like I'm not talking to anybody. We're not happy with what we just put out there. I need 24 hours to watch the film, watch it again, maybe watch it a third time, maybe watch the TV copy, not talk to any friends or family, and just like understand what's going on. After the Tennessee win, I was like, I'm going to say hey to my friends. I'm exhausted. I'm going onto the plane. I'm going to sleep. I'm going home. I'm going to sleep. I'm watching the film for twice, going to watch the other games, and I am relaxing. I cannot have any social interaction for a while.
Can you describe the plane ride home? I mean, it was a short one, right? You're coming from Nashville. It's whatever, an hour flight or something like that. Describe that plane ride home knowing that you guys are now playing one game for the right to go to the Super Bowl.
It was funny because we're sitting there and I'm sitting next to Kevin Huber and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Kevin, Cincinnati kid, right? Like he's hyped. He's like, the Bearcats made it to we're gonna outshine them. We have to outshine them. And I'm like, yeah, Kevin, you're right. But I'm like, all right, just give me a second. And then we got Clark Harris behind us, the two oldest guys right next to me. Clark's like, hey, why are we not standing up right now? Like, guys, we're going to the AFC Championship. Let's go. And he stands up and he just starts walking around. He's like, all right, I got to talk to some people. Like, I can't sit still right now. And I'm just like, you know what, man? I might as well try to get up and enjoy this and soak this in for a little bit. And everybody has smiles on their face. Everybody's happy. And then there's Joe. Joe's just sitting there listening to music like, yeah, I knew this. So we're good. I'm like, this guy's unbelievable.
Now you got to tell Joe, though, that because my boss is a guy named Jeff Shell. He runs everything, the theme parks, all the different stuff involved with Comcast. But he's a huge Rams fan. So it's entirely possible that the LA Rams could be in the Super Bowl where Al Michaels lives against the Cincinnati Bengals where I played. And so Jeff has already decided that that Al has to come on for the opening on camera in a Rams jersey, and I have to come on with a Bengals jersey. And I was like, no. If they win, then I got to wear like one of those Joe Burrow suits with the rose-colored glasses. I go, come on, man, we got to go the whole thing here if we're going to do this, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to at that point. Hey, when that happens, when we win this week, we'll hook you up with something. We'll make sure we get you right.
Oh, there we go. It'll be good. You'd have to describe for me a couple of guys. Describe for me Joe Burrow, and just like we see the cigar smoking, we see the serious face, we see the of course we're going to win thing. What do we not see?
Well, two things that I want to say. One thing real quick is, some people from the outside and even my friends, my closest friends are like, dude, so is Joe like just this cocky kid who just, whatever? And I'm like, no, there's a fine line between cocky and confidence. And the reason why he is the way he is because he's the smartest person football wise that I've ever been around. Like in my, like coaches, player, it doesn't matter. He is out there directing there was a time during the game where his headset didn't work and he was just calling plays. He was like, I can't hear anything. So we're going to run this. And I was like, wait, what? He was like, no, we're running this. And it was the pass to T. Higgins that we were on their side of the field. T ends up fumbling it. Jamar catches it.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, this man's not, you didn't get that play? He's like, no, I just called that one. That seemed like it would be a good one to call. And he's checking the protection. I'm just like, what? That's unbelievable to just look to the sideline and be like, this isn't working. I'm just going to call something. And not even the coaches were just like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm not going to take a timeout. We trust this guy. So that's where that confidence comes. That's where that demeanor that he has comes from, just because he knows that he's the most prepared person on the field at the moment. So that's one thing I just had to get out there because that's why he's Joey Franchise. The second thing is he doesn't like, he has the weirdest sense of humor. Like I think I'm funny. I'm just going to I'm throwing it out there. I think I'm a hilarious individual. And everybody in the huddle will be laughing and he'll just be like, that wasn't funny. Like that wasn't good. And I'm like, wait, what? I will say something that is the biggest dad joke ever where Jamar will be like, CJ, that's stupid. And he will die laughing. Like it won't be just like a quick little, it'll be like I have to take a second. I can't call the play. This is in practice. I can't call the play. Like, Zac, do it again because CJ just made me laugh. And I'm like, what? That's what gets you? A dumb dad joke makes you laugh that hard? And he's like, yeah, that was funny.
I love it. I love it. He and I are going to get along just fine then. I'll say that. I like dad jokes too. And the other guy I've got to ask you about is Jamar. The play he made against the Ravens, to me, is still one of the greatest plays I've ever seen. I mean, a big situation. You got to have the first down. He catches this slant in the middle of three people, does a pirouette and runs 70 yards. And then the other one was the one against the Kansas City Chiefs, where if you're down 14, everything looks bleak, and he catches a little simple pass, makes the whole field miss a tackle, and he goes the distance on it. Give me some insight as to that guy.
I can give you a lot of insights to this guy. Jamar is, for me, it's a little different. Jamar is my little brother. Like, he is the person. I'm an only child, and I pick on him more than anybody, and he tries to pick on me back. And he's the epitome of a grown man that is playing football like he is 6 years old, just running out there. I mean, I honestly can't put into words how much fun and excitement it brings me being able to play on the field with him, because he brings out the little kid in me, right? Like you said at the beginning, I'm the old guy now, kind of, which I'm not even that old, but I'm the old guy, and I'm just out there with, it's like a toddler. He's just like, give me the ball, and I'm just going to run around everybody, make everybody miss, and I'm going to score, and that's it. And then I'm going to get back to the sideline, and I'm going to show off my grill, and I'm going to do my little dance. And he wants to get into the end zone, I'm pretty sure, just to dance. He's like, oh yeah, nice. Let me do my dance real quick. But all that is like kid having fun, whatever. He's also, again, one of the smarter receivers that I've had the opportunity to play with. And I say smartest receivers sometimes, it's X this, quarterbacks telling them what to do half the time, but we come off on the sideline, and I'm like, dude, how did you make, like, the Titans game? It was we had a naked quarterback, naked out to the right. Jamar's about to get hit by two guys. It was I'm pretty sure it was the safety and the linebacker. We're both about to hit him for a 1 yard gain, maybe. And he, right when he catches it, arcs it a little bit and gets 19. And I'm like, dude, how did you know that they were there? And he was like, oh, they were in this. They were in 3 week, and I knew that. I was like, wait, what? You saw that as you were running across the field? And it's like, oh yeah, no, yeah, of course. Like, that was base. And I was like, I didn't know that was going on in your head. Like, I thought you were just out here, see ball, catch ball, run past everybody. But to know that he knows that, I'm like, dang, all right, I see you. Like, you're above where I thought you were as a player.
For this team to go to Kansas City for the playoffs is so cool, right? It's so cool. If this team goes to LA for the Super Bowl, oh my Lord, I don't even want to think about it. I'm not sure LA is hip enough for the Cincinnati people that are going to be coming into town to play in that football game. All the movie stars, the musicians, the rappers, all the great halftime show we've got on deck. I almost would rather hear you guys at halftime than, as great as that's going to be, than what it's going to be, because I get the feeling that you guys are going to be in there and it's just going to be like fun. Like, you're just going to be having fun doing it.
Oh yeah. I don't know if LA's ready for us either. The fans, the team, I don't know if LA's ready for any of that. But you're right. I mean, we're, LA, like you just said, they have all the stars. It's always a big party, but we pull up, it's going to be a massive party full of all of us, the whole city. I'm quite sure will be there just taking over. And LA wouldn't know what a party was until we got there, after we got there. That's for sure.
All right. So here's John Madden used to say, yeah, but. Do you know this saying at all? Like, everybody would go, yeah, the Bengals, they're doing this and they're doing that. And yeah, but. And I guarantee you know what the yeah, but is. The yeah, but is 9 sacks in that last game, right?
Yep.
And now you're going up against the Chiefs team. You've played them before, Chris Jones, they've got Ingram, they've got all the guys to make it work on a pass rush. Why will the yeah, but not matter in this one? What can you get Joe Burrow protected in this football game? For sure.
I think what happened in the last game, first of all, unacceptable, unexcusable, right? Inexcusable. We weren't happy with that at all. But I will say, it wasn't just the offensive line. It wasn't just, somebody, missing an assignment on a route or messing up a check. It was a multitude of things. And as we were talking about it, as we were watching film, we were like, hey, listen, on some of these sacks, Joe, just throw it away. Throw it at the running back's feet. Throw it in the vicinity of somebody on the ground so you don't take this. On some of these protection mishaps, like, guys, don't lose your heads. Just just follow your basic rules. Don't let the defensive end go. On one, like, hey, if you're gonna chip somebody, don't chip him into a TE where he's gonna be able to just fly by the guard and hit the quarterback. So it's a bunch of things that we're like, we have to settle down. Like, we don't have to, we're out there kind of sometimes just being way too, spastic. Like, oh yeah, all right, we're here. Oh no, we have to do that. Wait, what's going on? Like, our eyes are kind of deceiving us sometimes. And we've addressed that a fair amount as an offense. And I can assure you that that's not gonna happen.
And the one guy that if I've met him, I apologize to him, but it's like Bill Callahan's one of the great coaches in the game, right? Offensive line coach for the Cleveland Browns. He's been everywhere. He's been head coach before. He's just a fantastic guy. And Brian, his son, is the offensive coordinator, right? And give me some scouting report on him. What's his role within this offense? Because it's Zac that's calling the plays, right?
Yeah, I think. I know they kind of both do. I mean, I know Callie's up in the booth, but he's feeding coach information, and I know a bunch of the calls. I'm like, oh, nice, okay, like that one, Callie, I know won it. Like, I know he was like, all right, it's third down in this situation. If we get this coverage, or if it's nickel to 12 or something, then like, all right, nice, we're gonna run this. Or if it's base to 11, all right, nice, we're gonna run this. But he's, man, talk about someone who is trying to, like, who, I don't know how he's, you were talking about Coach Taylor and how he's up at the front of the class and we're just being goofballs back there. That is a funny guy to be able to, because he's up there, he gives us our red zone presentations, and he's just like, he's trying to be hip with us. And it is so fun to watch an older guy like him try to be, I say older, Callie, I apologize. Just trying to be hip with us.
I'm older. He's older than you. So yeah,
right,
go ahead.
Exactly. Right. But for me, as the week progresses, if Joe doesn't tell me something on a route, he'll be like, hey, I don't know if Joe said this, or, Joe has a million things going on in his head. But if you run this route again, make sure you just push it up a little bit, or take your time at the top of the stem, or do that. And he's telling everybody, like, it's not just, he's going around like, hey, when we have this particular play, like, you don't have to get to 15, dude. If you beat him at 12, just beat him at 12, and Joe knows it. And some of these plays, it's not, they're kind of like freelancing plays. Like, we're just in a spot sometimes. Joe has told me, hey, after you do this, like, just go over there. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'll be around the area. And he's like, all right, no. Boom, just dumps it off to me, first down. I'm like, all right, cool. That's awesome. And he and Callie are the two that kind of really are the forefront of that. Like, hey, as long as you're in the correct spot, like around the correct spot, you're fine. Like, you don't have to, we're not robots out there. And so he's helped us again with just the looseness of how our offense has been running.
Just to look ahead to this one now, such a significant game, championship game, chance to go to the Super Bowl, the whole bit. You guys beat them the last time you played them here in Cincinnati in a game they had to have because it knocked them out of the number one seed eventually. But now here they are with the home field advantage again. But they're struggling too on defense. You guys put up a big number against them. They could not make a stop at the end of the game. Whoever won the coin toss in overtime against the Bills, they were going to win the football game. You kind of knew that going into it. The Chiefs do. Defensively, they'll give you some opportunities, right? I mean, they'll throw some cover zeros at you. They'll send an all-out blitz. They'll try some things on the defensive side. What can happen to create those big plays? Because it really was the big plays in the last game that beat the Kansas City Chiefs for you guys.
Yeah, and I think that just goes back to Joe's mind and his ability to handle that. And it's wild. I consider myself the second smartest person on the offense. We have to know how to block and run routes and whatever. But again, my eyes will deceive me. I'm like, oh, nice. They're disguising a two look right now for sure. And right when I take a step, I'm like, oh, this is not the look that I thought they were going to go into. But he already knows. He already knew what was going on. And it is so impressive. Like even in practice, we have Frank Pollock who he'll draw up a blitz or something and he'll tell everybody, do not show anything. And Joe will still just be like, all right, nice, we're changing the protection to this. And Frank will be like, you'll just hear Frank under his breath, damn it. Like, I just wanted to get this look for the offensive line, Joe. Like, don't change the protection, do it normal. So I think that's really the main thing. That's how we win. That's how we attack. If they bring a muddy look that maybe we haven't seen, that they try to present to us. And as long as he gets us into the right play and we actually get the right check, which, 2 times in the previous game we didn't. So communication is going to be key, and just running up to someone and telling them the play if we have to. But as long as that gets communicated, I think really our offense is unstoppable.
CJ, it has been a pleasure all season long. It's been great getting to know you a little bit. I always enjoy your interviews. You have a laugh, you have a good time. Somehow you're the old man on the team now. I don't know how that happens with this football team, but from everybody who lives in Cincinnati and fans of the team and everything else, thanks for the excitement. Thanks for the dramatic year. It's been amazing to watch you guys. It really has been. And it's just been generational fun. It really has. I think there are a lot of people that can remember the 2 Super Bowl trips in the 80s. And now you guys have just circled it all the way back, and it's just party on right now. So thanks for taking the time, and you've been fantastic this season, and can't wait to watch this weekend.
I appreciate that very much. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Don't forget to tell Joe I need those sunglasses for the opening on camera, though.
I got you.